What's up, tubers? Welcome back. Today we're opening Final Fantasy, the set that came back into your life like your access playlist on Spotify. Uninvited, oddly emotional, weirdly emotionally charged actually, and now it's stuck in your head and you can't get rid of it. So strap in, sit down, relax, and let's open a box of Final Fantasy play boosters today. See you after the intro. Welcome back, everyone. If you like Magic the Gathering pack opening content, please consider subscribing to this channel. We do this every now and then, the way we get time to do it, because yeah, our life doesn't only revolve around cards, but that's majorly what we do, huh? So today we're opening Final Fantasy, an entire play booster. This box. And let's see what kind of value we pull, how many rares versus how many mythics, and let's voice some thoughts and concerns about this set. First and foremost, the general debate of Universe Beyond. Is Universe Beyond something that Magic needs? Is Universe Beyond something that, we need to have this game survive? Honestly speaking, this set exemplifies what Universe Beyond can do for Magic, which is, it definitely brings the money and more people to the game, and that is always a welcome thing. Love it or hate it, me personally, I've never played a Final Fantasy game. However, I have drafted this set in the pre-release, and now I've drafted a few games on MtG Arena, and it's a really fun and challenging set in Limited. In Constructed, however, I'm not sure if anything will have a major impact. There's a few cards here and there that are good, but nothing that strikes my attention too much. However, when it comes to Universe Beyond artworks, etc., we will talk about some stuff. Wind Treachery, Blitzball Ice Plan, Ifrit, Moogles, apparently. Really cool Final Fantasy stuff that I have no idea about because I never played it. The artworks of this set, however, are insane. For example, the full arts, everything is really cool and on brand. I love this. Look at it. Memories returning, 4 mana, reveal the top 5 cards of a library, put one of them into your hand, then choose an opponent, then put one on the bottom in the library, then you put one on the bottom, no, in your hand. Oh geez, yeah, that's a lot of text for a card, fuck this. But flashback, cool mechanic. Generally speaking, this is all really cool as my camera struggles to focus. Yeah, of course, because the faces in the background. Thank you, Final Fantasy. Let's turn them around. 1, 2, 3. Alright. So we have one rare, and then our foil is Lionheart and equipment, and then we have a land, and of course the art card in the back. So let's see what kind of value we can pull today, and let's talk about some cards along the way. Because I think Final Fantasy is, well, me personally, I was never a friend of it. I was never a friend of Universe Beyond. I loved Lord of the Rings, obviously, because I'm, loving Lord of the Rings as an IP. But I do not understand how Magic needs to do something that other trading card games don't need to do. Look at Pokemon. Pokemon is not collabing with any IP, however, they're doing insanely well. They're the best or most sold TCG on the planet. Fire Crystal. Cards that are meh. It's rare, it's not a mythic, and Lock Coal as our foil. I don't necessarily think it's a bad thing. Again, it brings players of different IPs to the game, and with Final Fantasy, it is obviously one of, if not the most successful financially Magic the Gathering sets of Wizards of the Coast ever. So kudos to them, their marketing worked. The secret lair was sold out within 10 minutes. Summon Titan, beautiful card. Mill 5 cards, first step. So the enchantment creatures are something that is new to this set. It's enchantment creatures, sagas, whatever you want to call them. They have a certain amount of steps. You get 1 per turn. When it comes into play, you mill 5 cards. The next main phase, you return all land cards. No, you return all land cards from your graveyard to the battlefield tapped. Really cool mechanic. Until the end of turn, turn another creature you control. Blah, 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 blah. Okay, where's X number of lands? Reach Trample, 5 mana for a 7/7. Really powerful. Can only attack once because Summoning Sickness unless you give it haste. Second step, so you second draw phase, it can attack. And the third one, it pops and then you have to sacrifice it due to the Saga effect. It's really cool. It plays really nice and limited because you can play around with it and take or give it lore chapters, so that's really, really cool. And then the next one, this is actually a rare, yeah. Next one is an uncommon, and this brings me into one of the things that I desperately wanted to talk about for this set. Although all of these full art thingies, whatever you want to call them, give this set a really, really cool IP for Final Fantasy, I think these artworks specifically are losing the IP of Magic the Gathering. This is iconic scenes from Final Fantasy throughout the ages. So this thing, you see it down here, is from Final Fantasy VI. So it's a scene, I have no idea which. However, I think with the aesthetic of this card, it gives a lot of Final Fantasy TCG vibe, but it takes a lot of Magic the Gathering vibe. What do I mean by this? So you're lacking a text box. First of all, this is weird for me. You're lacking a set symbol. This is weird for me. And this one's probably not the best example, but on most of them there's so much empty space, and I don't know, it's me, it's an old man yelling at clouds, but it doesn't feel like Magic cards to me. And if you do IP crossovers, it's really cool to implement the IP, the DNA that you're crossing over with, but it's really not cool to lose your own. And I think these cards specifically are losing Magic's IP a lot. That's why I don't like them, but leave your opinion down below, talk to me. I really want to hear what Final Fantasy fans think about these cards. Anyways, we go on. We have a Balam T-Rexor in foil, and we have a Town. Town cards are really cool because you can have really cool limited decks with them. And a Hero Treasure token. So, 2 boosters in. I've already talked about a lot that I don't like in this set. However, now we talk about value. I opened up a few collector boosters in my LGS, and I also highly, highly encourage you to do so, because don't just buy them online. Buy them in your LGS. This game is played, this game is enjoyed in your game stores. So go there, buy some boosters from them. I really, really don't like how expensive this set is. That's the one thing. Gilgamesh, wow, really cool. Both of them rare. But I also, at the same time, understand that they did their job really, really well in the marketing team of Wizards of the Coast. I mean, play boosters by now are, standard play boosters. We're talking about a standard set. This is not a Commander Masters. This is not a Modern Masters. This is standard. This is standard play boosters. In your LGS, they cost around $200 for a box. And then with everything else going on, the collector boosters in your LGS should be around $600 to $700. And then if you buy them online, they're obviously a little bit cheaper, but wow. Can you pull that much value from these? I guess for the play boosters we will see, because the collector boosters I will not open because I do not think you can pull that much value from it. However, I also... okay. Let's finish the thought. However, I also think that if you leave them sealed, they will become even quicker, the same value as the Lord of the Rings ones, the holiday ones. So, this is probably the biggest pull you can have in a play booster, I would assume. Vivi Onitier. Really, really, really interesting to see what kind of impact we can expect from Vivi. Because Vivi is probably the single most powerful card in the set, I would argue. Because holy shoot, what you can do in an Is It spell deck or in a commander deck with him, her, with them is insane. Also, really, really cool pull here. Alright. It's our first mythic card as well. Then we have these cards, which honestly speaking, are really fucking cool. Like, I love it. And for Final Fantasy players, having the set symbol behind them, having the classic artists from Final Fantasy design magic cards. This is an AP crossover that's just chef's kiss, you know. This is beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And of course, they also flip into insane artworks. I love this. This is absolutely beautiful. 10 out of 10. Alright, then we have our foil reinforcements, an island, and also these. Really, really cool. With the signature. Beautiful card. I will definitely try to get to more limited events with Final Fantasy, because I think for most of us, the play boosters are kind of the way. We will never open the collector boosters because they're just way too expensive. And then the play boosters, drafting them is really, really fun. And also, let's see if we get both of them melders, then we can talk about it. But this is really clunky and awkward. So you have to turn the card then in your match. But I will put it down here actually. Maybe we get the black one. From Father to Son, not a great card. Diamond weapon in foil. Yeah, it's, I don't know. Let's see how many people actually opening collectors. So far, I think I've seen 2 or 3 of the golden chocobos pulled. Interesting to see where we end up with the pricing for these. I think, first of all, it's really hard to tell. Same with the one of one ring. Because you need to have someone come in and buy them to understand what the market value for something like this would be. Until then, you're just guessing how much they will be. My best guess is in between 35 to 55k. That's what I think they can end up with. Omega Heartless Evolution in a full art foil, which is awesome. I really, really enjoy the set arts, the full art set arts. Beautiful card. Astrologian's Planisphere. Job select is also a really cool mechanic. Let's see if we quickly find one. Yes, there we have it, hero token. So if you play this card, job select triggers. You create a 1/1 hero and you attach this equipment to this 1/1 hero for free. Meaning this one is a 2 mana. Create a hero wizard that has whenever you cast a non-creature spell and whenever you draw your 3rd card each turn, you put a 1/1 counter on this creature. It's insanely powerful. Really, really good for the Izzet spell deck as well. And then we have, there you go. Then we have Stroke of Midnight. Super awkward. I don't like the frame of the manas. I don't like this black behind the writing. For me, those are just meh, except for the Ancient Copper Dragon. This artwork is insanely on point. And then maybe we pull the Rhystic Study, which to me is the most awkward Rhystic Study we have ever had. So let's go further through them. Again, old man, just shouting at the clouds. But this is how I feel about it, and I am more than willing to accept anyone's opinion, as you should be, because let's face it, art is subjective and people like it, people don't. So wow, this is a really broken card in limited. Really good. Always love to draft it. Black and blue seem to be really powerful. However, I think the most powerful color actually in limited is most likely green, because there's so many good cards apart from landfall decks, because the cards you use in landfall decks are not that great. And to be honest, Summon Fed Chocobo and Sasa's Chocobo are really insane card outside of landfall. And then we flip it into Phoenix Warden of Fire with a lot of fucking text that I'm not going to read to you now. Alright, White Oracite, sorry, great artifact actually, really great removal for artifact decks. And then we have a few lands, we have a few tokens, and let's move on. I'm gonna speed up a little bit throughout this because, wow, I just have less than 1 out of 3 of the booster towers here done. So let's go through it a bit quicker and let's just see if we find something really cool that we can talk about. Whew. Squall, Seed Mercenary, Legendary Creature, Human Knight, Mercenary, okay. Not great, not bad, but SRAM, Senior Artificer. This is the card actually from the artworks that triggers me the most. Why couldn't I have rotated the artwork slightly to the right? So that the sword goes through in a straight way. Like, this triggers my OCD that it's just not straight. But, you know, again, art is subjective. The gold saucer, a forest in foil, and a hero token to finish it up with. Let's go. So actually, I think Vivi probably pays for more than 10% of what we paid for the box, which is insane. That singular cards in play boosters are worth that much, but Vivi is just insane. Side quests are a really cool mechanic in the set. Not all of them are great in the limited format and constructed. I would think that probably none of them are good. However, pay 3 mana at the beginning of your upkeep. Look at the top card of your library. If it's an artifact or creature, you may reveal it, put it into your hand. If you put a card token in your hand this way, you create a food token and transform this enchantment, and you transform it in this thing. Cooking campsite, a land. You immediately get an extra land. That's, I think, a really cool mechanic, actually. And we have Excalibur 2. Whenever you gain life, put a charge counter on Excalibur. Equipped creature gets +1% for each charge counter on it. Oof. That's pretty cool for a life gain deck. And we have whatever red mages, another town, and another token. 1/3 through. Actually, some quite good value. As always, you will find the value down here, so most people skip to the end. Check it out, Fat Chocobo heavily overperforms in my opinion in standard, oh my god, in limited. So yeah, really good card. The Emperor of Palamacia, also really good card. The Water Crystal, our second crystal for today. Actually also just a rare, and then the first pack with 2 rares, Venet, Heart of Hydaelyn. Playable, not great in my opinion, but you know, it's one of them. Hate it, love it, you can play it, it's fine. So far we have a ton of rares and we only have 1 mythic. I have not looked at anyone else's openings in terms of rare to mythic ratio, but for me so far it's, wow, heavy on the rare side and not a lot on the mythic side. Really fun card, Jumbo Cactuar, 7 mana, 1/7, and whenever it attacks it gets plus 9,999 plus 0 until end of turn. So this in limited is a must answer threat. In constructed, if you can fling this at your opponent, they're at negative a few thousand life. So some cactuars live long lives and grow huge. This Jumbo Cactuar is one of them. Alright, who do we have here? That's a rare, that's Venser, Shaper, Savant. Legendary creature, human wizard, flash. Whenever Master Xant comes into play, no enters, comes into play is not a thing anymore. Return target spell or permanent to its owner's hand. 4 mana flash, not bad, it's a rare at least. Final Fantasy 1, 2, what is it, 3? Really cool art, but then again, it's so much empty space on this card, and they're just not it for me. I don't know. That's all I can say about them. But I am willing to discuss. I'm willing for people to scream at me. So let's see where we end up. All right, Suplex, Gallicat. Edelbird, really cool card. Ooh, and here we have our Chocobo. The first traveling Chocobo I have opened both in person and digitally. This card seems to be really rare to open. However, it's a beautiful artwork and I'm definitely not going to sell this. So, 3 mana gives you a bird creature, 3/2. You may look at the top card of your library at any time. You may play lands and cast birds from top of your library. If a land or a bird you control entering the battlefield causes a triggered ability of a permanent you control to trigger, that ability triggers an additional time. Which means in a limited environment, this in the landfall deck gives you unlimited power, unlimited burp power. And really interestingly, I think this might be one of the constructed cards that you can build around for Commander, maybe. Let's see. But it's a really cool card. Now we have Vivi and we have a Chocobo. Alright, and nothing else. So far, we're really not lucky on the double rare, double mythic, whatever packs. But I think we pulled the two... Well, I'm not sure if we pulled the two best ones, but we definitely pulled two very, very good cards. Alright, let's move on. We have Rauban, Bull of Alamrigo. I'm so sorry if I cannibalize those names, but I have not played Final Fantasy. I have no idea who they are. 2 mana for a 2/2 ward, pay life equal to its power. When he attacks up to one target equipment, you can attach it to him, you control... Okay, well, it can attach to anything. Okay, interesting. Then we have an uncommon, light up the stage. Super awkward artwork in my opinion, but... Again, I have to stop saying it. I have to stop saying that I don't like it. By now you should have gotten that. Interesting topic is for the Chocobos. Where will the Neons end up in? Price-wise, where does the one of 77 that you can get, the serialized Chocobo ones, where does it end up with? Here's also something to discuss. Chocobo Racetrack. In my opinion, not a great card, but I see many people drafting it, and I think in this limited environment, 5 mana that only pays off, well, at the earliest turn 4-ish if you can ramp into it. I don't know. Late game grind, green-black, maybe? Let me know what you think. And then let's go through this, because this is also new. We have now lands that have sorcery adventures, meaning if you play it as a sorcery adventure, you may sacrifice an artifact or creature. If you do draw 2 cards, then it goes into your adventure zone, and then next turn, or immediately, you can play it as a land. Really cool mechanic in my opinion. You have Ifrit and Swamp to end it up with here. Now comes the question, what are your favorite cards from this set? Are you into Final Fantasy? Because these artworks of the regular cards, in my opinion, are awesome. I really would love to play them. Oh, there we go. Bala Tumgan Seed Academy. What does it flip into? So for 7, you can transform it. Costs 1 less for each town. That's really cool if you have a town deck. And it transforms into Balamgarden Airborne. A vehicle, which is a mechanic I personally don't like. Whenever it attacks, draw a card, but for crew 1, 5/4 flyer, that's pretty good. That's a really decent land. Alright. And then we have the Darkness Crystal Full Art Foil, our first hit in the foil spot. Wow. Let's see if we can get... I would be happy if we would get like 2 or 3 more here. Let's make some little bit of Ordnung. That's the German in me coming through. Like a little bit of order here. Have it. Oh wow, this one comes damaged straight out of the box. At least it's just the token that's a bit fucked up. But look at them. Like quality wise, the collector cards feel surprisingly a lot better than these actually. However, still do not open them. It's a trap. Golbest Crystal Collector. Whenever an artifact you control enters survey 1, 2 mana, 1/4 by the way. Really good. The beginning of your end step, if you control 4 more artifacts, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Then, if you control 8 or more artifacts, each opponent loses life equal to that card's power. Pretty good. Whew. This is one of the probably expensive ones. Ranger Captain of Eos is a really expensive card. It's a mythic. When this creature enters, you may search your library for a creature card with mana value 1 or less, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. Sacrifice this creature. Your opponent can't cast non-creature spells this turn. This is a really, really expensive card usually. However, this artwork is also, yeah, a bit garbage, but you know what can you do? Let's put the rares and mythic arts of these actually over here. We have 2 rares, 1 mythic, I think, 1, 2, 3 uncommons. And then by now I have given up on finding the counterpart to Vanille because I think it's a black card. Also 3 mana, I think a 3 mana black creature. I have no idea what this name is. It's super weird, Fungicillin or something. However, we hopefully will find it. And I can melt them which I did in the pre-release. I played those two in pre-release, and I melded them one time, and that was my only thing I wanted to achieve. The Lunar Whale, 4 mana flyer, look at the top card of your library at any time. As long as the Lunar Whale attacks this turn, you may play the top card of it. Brew 1, 3/5, 4 mana, okay card. Min Woo, White Mage. Vigilance, lifelink, 5 CMC is not that great. Whenever you gain life, put a +1/+1 count on a cleric you control. So apparently clerics are also getting some love in this set. I was actually thinking, I was in my LGS earlier today and I was thinking about picking up a Ranger Captain of Eros. But here we are, now we have one. I'm not sure if I want to play this one though, because yeah, the artwork is not that great, but maybe we can trade it in with one. Black Waltz number 3 for me, also one of the better limited cards. Probably one of the top 3 uncommons in this set. Then we have Juna, Hope of Spira. During your turn, Juna and enchantment creatures you control have trample, lifelink, and ward 2. Oh, for 5 mana, 3/5 by the way. Really, really good. At the beginning of your end step, return up to 1 target enchantment card from your graveyard to the battlefield with a finality counter on it. Finality counter means if a permanent with a finality counter on it would be put into a graveyard, you exile it. For 5 mana, if not removed immediately, you get a lot of stuff, basically a spell protection for everything you own. They have lifelink and trample. The power of the mythic creatures in this set is really, really strong. And then we have our uncommon Awkward Art Laboratory Maniac. I don't know. I have to also stop saying it, guys. You have to stop me from ranting on the artworks of this set, because the power level and the financial possibilities are pretty much really, really good. Let's see how it goes. I ordered some of the secret layers. Maybe we get lucky and we get to open one of them on stream. The alternative art for Summon Fat Chocobo I think is worth something, so I put it down here. Choco Seeker of Paradise is a really cool bird card that I would love to build a commander deck around, because burps. Iron Giant foil and the plains. I don't know what significance the 7th Heaven has, but here it is. We are in our last third of the opening. So far, you should be still able to see the value on the lower right on the screen. And I honestly think with $200 in your card store, these are really, really cool. However, will you get back the value? Not necessarily, but they're really, really fun to draft. So if you pick up a box and draft it with your friends in your card store, you will definitely have some fun. Okay, guys, it happened. We can have some fun. So, turn 3, you cast Fang. Whenever 1 or more cards leave your graveyard, you draw a card, lose 1 life. This ability triggered only once per turn, my bad. For 4 mana, next turn, you play Vanille. You mill 2 cards, you return a permanent from your graveyard to your hand. Next, your next turn, you play mana, you pay 5. And you melt them into, oh my god, this will be so hard to do in your card store. You melt them into Ragnarok, Divine Deliverance. Legendary Beast Avatar, Vigilance, Menace, Trample, Reach, Haste. When it dies, destroy target permanent and return target non-legendary permanent card from your graveyard to the battlefield. I don't know why they did this. If you have them sleeved, you have to pull them out and then look at this in comparison to a normal card. It's huge, but it's super fun to do. I melded them once in the pre-release and it was really fun to do. Alright, let's see what we have for the rare in this one. Cecil, Dark Knight, 1 mana, 2/3, Death Touch, Human Knight. Whenever Cecil deals damage, you lose that much life. Then if your life is less than or equal to half of your life, untap him and transform him. He transforms into Redeemed Paladin. 4/4 lifelink. Whenever Cecil attacks, other attacking creatures gain indestructible until the end of turn. Meh. Decent, but not great. stuck in Summoner's Sanctum. My opinion, greatest artwork of the set. Sleep Magic, really, really good card. Limited again. Geode, meh. And then we have the rare Moogle that I have not seen yet ever. 1 mana, 1/2 lifelinker. 2, tap it. Target opponent gains control of another target permanent you control. If they do, you draw a card. So you can give your opponent shit you don't need and you draw cards for it. Okay. Not sure if it's great, but hey, you know. And those really are beautiful. They're going out with any order that I send on Card Market. So if you buy something from me, you will definitely get some Final Fantasy bulk or stuff that is not worth much, but looks really, really cool. Alright. We're going into our last few packs. The Regalia. Haste. Whenever the Regalia attacks, reveal cards onto the land card, blah, 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 bottom of the library. 4 mana for a 4/4 that has grew 1 in haste and has basically put a land on the battlefield effect. It's not bad, actually. Then we have Xenos Jagelvus. Whatever. 5 CNC, my first friend. When Xenos enters, choose a creature an opponent controls. Until end of turn, creatures other than Xenos himself and the chosen creature get -2/-2. When the chosen creature leaves the battlefield, transform him. And you transform him into Shiru, Transcendent Rival. Flying 8/8. As this creature transforms, choose an opponent. When the chosen player loses the game, you win the game. That's fun commander stuff. That's really fun commander stuff. Alright, that's a rare. Here we go. Here's our next one. Captain Lannery Storm, uncommon. Awkward art, super crowded. That's why I don't get why it isn't a frame with a little opacity here that lets you read this card, because my eyes hurt when I look at this. Okay, the Fat Chocobo I just put over here because, yeah, who cares? I'm just gonna have easier time looking it up later. So, if you're still here, thank you so much for bearing with me and listening to me complaining about Final Fantasy. If you really like and you want to give me a good time, please subscribe. That helps me a lot. Here we have Van Street, whatever, because it's frame break and you don't see it. Thief. Meh. It's a meh card. It's a rare. And it becomes fairly evident that our rare to mythic ratio is quite heavily on the side of the rares. However, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 more chances to get more mythics. Alright, Bards and Boko, a card that I also haven't seen yet. 5 mana affinity for birds, 4/3. When it enters, each other bird you control deals damage to target creature an opponent controls. Okay, effectively a 2 mana green 4/3 bot wipe. Well, not bot wipe, kill 1 creature. Is it? Oh, it's only a rare, it's not even a mythic. Interesting. So the bird theme is really, really cool. Currently, if you draft, everyone drafts birds, so I don't know. It's really hard to put together a decently working bird deck because, yeah, everyone is taking the stuff from it. Emmet Zelch, we have our next mythic. 3 mana, 2/4 vigilance. When it enters, draw a card, discard. Nice. At the beginning of your upkeep, if there are 14 or more cards in your graveyard, you may transform. You transform him into a 6/6 vigilance. During your turn, you may play cards from your graveyard. Wow, really cool benefit then. Really cool turning your graveyard into a resource. If a card token would be put into your graveyard, exile it instead. Okay. Decent. Then we have Sir Conrad, which this is one of the artworks that's kind of fitting to it, but it's awesome. The white background just throws me off again. Ways in the Waters, Forest, and an Angelo dog. I have no idea who he is, but I think he's part of one card that summons him. But also no idea what his relation to Final Fantasy is. No idea if this is probably Probably the best uncommon in the entire set. So good outside of landfall decks, so good in landfall decks, but green super powerful. Torgal, special artwork, great card, beautiful. Sorgak, 5 black mana, indestructible god, 5/5 when it enters. Each player sacrifices half the non-god creatures they control rounded down. Whenever a player sacrifices a creature, put a +1/+1 on Zodiac. Yeah, okay. That's a pretty decent card. Wow. This is a really powerful card. So, 3 more to go. I have no idea if we made it close to the value of this, but I really hope we pulled at least $150 until now. Firion, Rose Warrior, Thunder Magic, Foil Island. Actually, I would have to look up if the foil lands from this set are worth something. I always keep forgetting that tokens and lands can actually be valuable, but yeah, especially in the collectors, I never look them up. I have them in a box somewhere and I never look at them. Tella, Great Sage. Okay, whenever you cast a non-creature spell, create a 1/1 token. If 4 more mana was spent, draw 2 cards. If 8 or more cards, sacrifice Tella, deals that much damage to each opponent. Okay, cool. That's infinite combo stuff. Ooh, Cloud. Midgar Mercenary. That is also one of the more expensive ones from the set. 2 white mana for a legendary creature, Human Soldier Mercenary. When it enters, search your library for an equipment, reveal it, put it into your hand, then shuffle. As long as Cloud is equipped, if an ability of Cloud or equipment attached to it triggers, that ability triggers an additional time. Woof. A mouthful, but super powerful card. Really nice. Smuggler's Copter. 2 mana flying vehicle. Whenever this vehicle attacks or blocks, you may draw a card. If you do, discard a card. Crew 1, 2 mana, 3/3 flyer. That's an insanely powerful card. Alrighty. And then, thank you for sticking with me. Here's the last pack. And I think with Cloud, we kind of ended it well. But let's see if we can put more on top of it. Boom. We have the 3rd land, the 3rd rare town that we draw. 6 mana, create a 1/1 colorless hero token, put a +1/+1 counter on it for each land you control for 6 mana. Wow. And it's still a land. Really cool card. And that was it. So, guys, let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 7, 8, 9, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35 rares. 3 of which Final Fantasy art. And then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 mythics. 35 rares, 6 mythics. I mean, there you have it. The final values are up on screen. I really hope you enjoyed Final Fantasy. I will be back with the Final Fantasy Secret Lair, maybe some Mystery Booster 2 or something in between. We will see what time allows. And I thank you so much for watching my stuff, and it's a great pleasure, as it always is, opening some cards and scratching the itch that is the addiction to looking at shiny cardboards. Thank you so much for tuning in. I see you at the next one. Bye bye.